Hey, what's up everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, the Los Angeles Lakers play in Minnesota tonight at Target Center against the Timberwolves. And, well, we're struggling. As a basketball team, the Los Angeles Lakers are. We are simply a struggling basketball franchise. 0-4, breaking records, missing threes. Pretty decent on the defensive end, to be honest with you. We've done a lot of good things, even though we've had some slippages of late over the last couple of games. But we started off very, very, very good on the defensive end. And scoring independent, of course, as we've said 1.5 million times on this channel, is something that the Lakers are secretly very, very special at. But unfortunately, we're focused on shooting the three ball, even though we have been gradually bringing our attempts down, which is something I like. But at the end of the day, we're hitting the panic button. As far as our franchise is concerned, we're trying to figure out what is taking so long for the announcement to be made that Russell Westbrook has been either traded or, sent home. That is something that I think needs to be done for the betterment of the morale of the team. So I'm a little disturbed that I still haven't heard that news as of 9:15 this morning. Not that I'm expecting it, but it should happen. So that's something I'm looking at. Also, we want to give kudos to a couple of Lakers in the midst of all this nonsense. We've had some guys that have really played well. You want to give Troy Brown his respect in this moment because he definitely has been playing some good defense for us since being thrown into the lineup. I am very happy with his effort, and he's been a bright spot for us. And also Anthony Davis has been playing really well, and he's been taking a lot of criticism this week, and I don't think it's really warranted. And I think that's something that's been spoken about a lot in NBA, in Lakers circles. And I just echo it here. I think he's playing well. I know he's hurt. I wouldn't mind if he doesn't sit tonight as well, or whether if he does not play, because I think the back is a situation that is starting to flare up for him. And playing as smart is, at the end of the day, the best move. It's an 82-game season, and we're going to need him healthy. So that's something I definitely pay attention to. But in him trying to fight through those injuries, he was able to give us 6 blocks, I believe, in the last game, and 14 rebounds. He's really been putting forth a great deal of effort and production. So if he can keep that up for us, we will find our way towards some victories very, very soon, I believe. So this is a game tonight where, obviously you're going up against the Timberwolves in their house, so you want to know who's been playing well as of late, because those players are likely going to be very comfortable shooting the ball this evening. And the players that I am aware of that are doing well for the Minnesota Timberwolves are, of course, Anthony Edwards, the leading scorer in the last game. He just recently scored his 400th three-point shot. So congratulations to Ant-Man for being the youngest player to ever reach that milestone. The fastest player, rather, at that age to reach 400. That's a better way to describe that. What he's done there, he's already breaking records. So needless to say, his confidence should be very high. He tends to play a little iffy against the Lakers. He hasn't had some of his best games against us, so I would say he's due. So we need to keep an eye on him. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns is a player that you must pay attention to. I've accused him of being the greatest three-point shooting center in the history of the sport, and I think that is the case. The numbers will back that up, and I don't think he's going to slow down. And he also said something that really stood out. He said that Magic Johnson was his favorite player of all time. And for him to say that right before this game, knowing that the Lakers are having troubles scoring from behind the arc, knowing that there's a piece like Anthony Davis that he could be traded for, knowing that he could have been drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers, but instead went number 1 that year and didn't slip to us at 2. I think he would love to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. I think that. But I don't think that the Lakers would be interested in making that trade necessarily, but I'm just throwing that out there. That's just me talking. Anyway, and another player you need to pay attention to on that team, obviously Rudy Gobert, big center in the paint, that they made the big trade for, sent about 5 picks and 5 players to Utah in exchange for Rudy, and he's been playing pretty well. Rudy, what he's going to do, he's going to look to block shots and rebound the ball quite a bit. And the key to Rudy is to just shoot the ball over his head and force the team to have him chase out to the perimeter. In situations like that, I believe you can have some success. But as long as he's able to park it in the paint, it's a bad situation for you. Unfortunately, we can't shoot threes. So that is something that we're not going to be able to take advantage of. So just from where I'm sitting, from a strategic standpoint, we're already up against it, especially if Anthony Davis isn't going to be 100%. I would not mind if LeBron James doesn't play in this game because of that same reason. If Anthony Davis ain't there, then that means LeBron James taking more physical punishment. That does not make sense to me. Not in a game where we're expected to lose anyway. If AD ain't out there, I don't think it's really safe to play Bron out there. And I'm just going to tell you the truth. I like that we're still trying to be competitive. Obviously, we're trying to win a championship this year, but I think we have to think about the health of our players. And when you consider those two twin towers in the paint, and you consider that both of those players, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, aren't exactly 100%, and we don't exactly have the size to really match up with them without having players on the floor that really leave us at a different disadvantage, I just would love for us to wait this out as it pertains to our players who are not necessarily very healthy right now. So this is, how I'm looking at the situation. Preserving the players' health is of the most importance to me. Wins will be hard to find either way, which is what I'm basically saying. So we just got to preserve our players' health. So with that being said, I want to see a lot more of the young players tonight, obviously. Much has been said on this channel singing the praises of Austin Reaves, but there have been some issues on the defensive end that have since been pointed out to me, and I now understand that he needs to play a little better on the defensive end. Now, I know that that's a strength of his because last year he showed us that he can lock people down. We're going to need him to find that again, and we're going to need the help defense out there to, of course, assist him, and we're going to need our coaches to keep the big bodies on the floor to do that, and so on and so forth. So, we want to see Austin Reaves play better within the role that he's given. I understand that role is not necessarily catered to him as of late, since they've had him playing the shooting guard. But, of course, in the last game, we started him at the 1. And that was pretty good for us. So what we want to do is just see him play a little better with the new role that he's been given. And hopefully we will see continuity with our squad this evening. I don't know what the situation is for Russell Westbrook. As far as whether or not the team is going to have him play tonight, I do not know. But in my mind, I just think our team is much more cohesive if we just simply remove that piece. And I'm going to stand by that regardless of what the other things are going on around his name may be. It's just simply about our fit, and we got to keep that fit on point. So in my mind, at the end of the day, it's tough for this team to win without being able to stretch the floor, especially against a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have shooters all over the floor. Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Noel, another player who's playing completely out of his mind, who we must pay attention to. I think he had 23 points in the last game and has been increasing his point total in every game since he's been getting minutes to start the season. So I'd imagine that makes for a very golden opportunity for him to go upwards of 25, 30 points tonight off of the bench. It looks like he's trying to make a name for himself as a Sixth Man of the Year candidate, and quite honestly, we are going to need to lock him down if we want to have any shot at competing against the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. If we don't take Jalen Noel seriously as if he's like a fourth scoring option or a third scoring option for this team, we could find ourselves on a bad end of a lopsided score. D'Angelo Russell is going to be down there shooting the ball as well. We know him very well. Very, very gifted shooter, very, very gifted passer as well. Somebody who has a lot of intangibles. We have to take it to him. He's not the most athletic person in the world. He's not the most defensive player in the world. So I want to see guys like Walker attacking him when he's on the floor, and make him someone who's trying to defend out there. Make him a backpedaler. What you do want to know though about that player is he has cat-like quickness, very, very fast. So if you think you're going to throw a pass past him, it's going the other way and it's going to be a layup. So we got to pay attention to the passing lanes with a squad like this. I'm curious to know what type of pace they play with. I haven't seen him play this season, but this is just very awkward in my mind when you consider Rudy Gobert, Karl Towns, and you consider the speed of an Anthony Edwards. I just wonder what style they're going to be throwing at us, how they use their rotations and things of that nature. Another player we must be very careful to not take lightly is Jaden McDaniels. Obviously, much has been said about his brother over in Charlotte, who's making a name for himself as well. But he is out in his position as he's been in for the last couple of years, rebounding the ball, defending, stretching the floor, and ultimately being a disruptor as a wing with length. So we must be very aware of Jaden McDaniels because he's going to be out there doing a lot. And with Vanderbilt no longer in the fold and several other players no longer in the fold, his role is much more defined and probably bigger than it was last year. So we got to pay attention to that player. Another guy on that team that is very, very important to their bench and what it is that they're going to be doing is Naz Reid. We talk a lot about Jelly Fam here. He's one of my favorite bench players in the league, a 6 man of the year type of guy. And he's only getting better every year with the role that he's been given. It is so very important we keep a body on this man and respect his three-point shot. He can shoot. He's a bruiser who can stretch the floor, so you had better pay attention to him. He's going to rebound the ball. And this is where it comes down to. Do we have the bodies to rebound? The Lakers have had some issues with that. And with us not being able to stretch the floor and some of the other disadvantages that we have, we're going to have to team rebound so much better than this team has been doing this season if we're going to have any shot at having any success against these teams. I believe that the Lakers are, as I said, an interior scoring basketball squad. So if they can limit their attempts to under 23-point attempts, I do believe they will have a better shot of winning the basketball game. At the end of the day, we've seen some poor basketball play from some of the most important players. LeBron James throwing possessions away. I felt like he hasn't played his best in the last 2 days. Much has been said about his unhappiness. Even he posted something saying he didn't feel very appreciated, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't know what we can do to make him feel more appreciated, and I've made various, videos about my thoughts about what we should do to improve our team. But for the time being, we have to compete in these games and improve the value of the talent on the floor. And so in my mind, if we're not going to have people who are focused on doing that, they need to sit, at least for the short term, while we develop the players that need to be traded in order for us to get the flexibility necessary to get better. As long as we have our stars on the floor, shooting three-point shots, throwing possessions away, not being focused, yelling at the ref and not getting back on defense, we're going to have a very difficult time getting the value up of those players. So that is the focus. I don't think there should be anything more important than that in regards to this team. You got to remove Russell Westbrook so that you can put those players on the floor and have them not be reacting to what it is that he does wrong. And if they're going to make their own mistakes, so be it. But at least we know they're getting better. Whatever it is that Russell does on the floor that helps our team has to be weighed against what it is that he does in hurting the players around him as it pertains to the morale of the squad and the fit of the team. I think that much has been said about that, but I don't think I can have condensed it any better than that. The Lakers need to make good organizational decisions in a quick and timely manner, or they need to rearrange their timeline to fit what it is that they're looking at. You may not have the time to wait for the best trade, so I think finding something that supplements your problems while still leaving you enough flexibility to make trades for the following year is your best choice of action. I don't think you should give away 2 picks just to be giving them away, nor do I think you should hold on to them throughout the course of the season to spite LeBron. If you're going to take that course of action, trade him. That's what I got to say. And as far as this game is concerned tonight, I'll tell you, just like I told you about the last game, I would not put any money on the Lakers until they're able to either identify who they are and play to those strengths, or make the trades necessary to become a better shooting team. Until then, I do not expect them to win any basketball games. That's just it. I've been a fan since 1994, a diehard fan at that. This is not the worst Laker team I've seen. I do know how we got to this point, and I'm appreciative of the championship we've had, but we do have an opportunity to undo some of this madness, and we're not doing things the right way to help ourselves. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's been the story on this channel, and it's going to be the story in this video. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a worthy opponent. I think they're going to be a playoff team this year. They got several players that I did not mention that we need to pay attention to as well, including Austin Rivers, who was just signed to that team, I believe. I think he's there. And he's someone who's going to definitely take it to us. So, that's what it is. The Lakers have their work cut out for them. This team has a lot of size. In fact, they're trying with a few other teams like Cleveland and Orlando, they're trying to redefine what the league actually is by putting 7-footers and 7'1" guys together on the same floor and forcing teams to match up with them. And if you can't match up with them, then I don't know how you compete. So that's why I think the Lakers should sit their stars tonight and just let the young guys run. Just let them run. You know what I mean? Because if you go out there and you force LeBron James to try to rebound with Rudy Gobert, you know what I mean? You send Anthony Davis out there to try to rebound with Karl Anthony Towns. you run the risk of them getting further injured. And we know they're not 100%. So that's the reality of the situation. You got to get those players what they need to compete. Much has been said as well about a lot of the players on our team all being a part of the same management company. I think that is a part of the problem. When you put pieces together for the wrong reasons, this is what you get. And I'm sorry, the politics of basketball do not make for good basketball, friends. It's time to do away with that. Bring pieces to us that make sense for the team that we have. And if they happen to be a part of different organizations, then that's probably what you need to do. That's the bullet that needs to be bitten for everybody, including the person who owns that organization or is a great contributor to that management team. It's a conflict of interest, fam. You have got to stop this nonsense. LeBron, look at what it gets us, bruh. This ain't it. This ain't how you win. Not on the basketball floor. So, I'm looking up and I'm saying, this person's part of Clutch, he don't fit. This person part of Clutch, he don't fit. This person part of Clutch, he don't fit. Are you serious? Come on now. We got to get smarter. We got to get smarter. And if you're going to forgo all of what it takes to make a good product take place on the floor, then I'm going to say that, and so are other Laker fans. We're not going to sit here and pretend like we don't know what it is that we're seeing. This is fraudulent. You pretend to put a real basketball team on the floor, and you did not do that. That's not actually what we see there. We see a jambalaya of politic ball, and it's bullcrap. And that's exactly what I'm telling Laker Nation. So fix it. Fix it, Genie. Fix it, please. Because we really do care about our team. Video 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.